No.
What is this? You're eating more food?
Yeah.
We're getting ready to start, man. Microphone's going to hear that.
Just every time he's like, yeah, you go first about who you think, and he just disappeared.
Okay, well, we ready? We gonna get this going?
One moment.
Okay. He's still fishing. Welcome everyone back to the Room Upstairs podcast. This is the podcast where we battle out movies.
He's being weird, man.
This is where we battle out movies and we make inside jokes without anybody else knowing what they are.
I'm tired.
So today we're not actually going to battle movies. We're doing our mighty, extra mighty Our Ranters,
Yes.
covering the Planet of the Apes.
You know, I just realized would make this podcast so much better.
What's that?
Pasta.
I agree.
That is a good idea. What a coincidence. Welcome again. My name is Bert, and I'm here with my eating co-host.
He's the tall being.
Yeah. And?
Mephisjoe.
All right, and we also have a secret guest today. In case you don't know who that is, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Dude, it's Hayden, y'all.
What?
I'm back.
What?
Yeah.
Impossible.
That's
That would
wild.
kick you out.
Yeah. All the YouTube comments was like, don't bring that guy back.
But we did it anyway
I'm
because
back.
We defy expectations.
that's right.
Mhm.
We subvert. What is it?
Subvert expectations.
Yeah,
Expectations.
Yeah, yeah, right, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Stick to
whatever.
your guns, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Stick it to the man.
Well, welcome, guys. Like I said, we're gonna be not battling. We're gonna be taking care of. Okay.
Well,
here's the
animated
deal.
series.
Here's the deal. Here's what happened. Because this will explain also what we're doing with our composer battle, which we will be continuing in a
Today.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we recorded this episode where we were battling the original Planet of the Apes versus the Tim Burton version. It was going awesome.
Yep.
It was great. We had some good stuff.
We were very
Nice
close
takes.
to like closing it out.
We were
So close.
minutes away.
Computer crashed.
Yeah.
Lost it all. Got deflated. We're like, you know what? Forget podcasting. We don't need this. We don't need this in our lives. So we took like a 2-week break, and we're back now.
Two of
and-
us are a year wiser now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's our birthday episode.
Huzzah.
Yeah, he is still a teenager.
Yeah.
And I am not.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what happened with the
Much
the last
further
episode.
from my teen years.
Yeah, your birthday too. That's right.
Yeah.
And yours?
I don't do birthdays.
Okay, me either.
He's just an eldritch
Yeah.
being.
I don't conform to that.
I got you. You're,
That's what my
you're
parents told me.
Subverting. Is that what?
Just stop using big
Okay,
words, man.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you got. Hey, man, yeah, it's all right, dude.
Okay, so we lost our podcast. We're back now. We're instead of battling the movies because, as far as we were concerned, the Tim Burton version wasn't going to win.
No.
Oh man, all right.
Well, as far as the original trio is concerned,
Even as we were battling it, like it had a couple good points, but they still could not.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a
comparatively
slaughter.
to the original, it was like, nah, the original's gonna win. We had a good time talking about it, but we lost it, and so now we still want to talk about the Apes movies because
'Cause we love apes.
Yeah.
it's the year of the apes.
It's the year of the monkey movie, man.
It's and that franchise has just gotten better, I think. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
it's a little bit.
along with
Gotcha.
that episode, we were going to battle John Williams versus Daniel Pemberton as our composer battle.
And we didn't.
We figured, why? John Williams
No
is
one's
going to
going-
win this thing.
Yeah, no one's going to beat John Williams.
Yeah, it was just like a formality for everybody else, and then John Williams is there. So we decided to go ahead and take John Williams out, and we're going to basically make this like the John Williams Award battle.
Okay.
So,
So whoever wins the John Williams Award.
yeah.
Okay.
They get to stand on equal footing with him.
All right.
But
No.
we had to replace John Williams with somebody.
Yes.
So we replaced him with, you guys remember?
I do remember.
It's right
Do you
there.
remember?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, and it's written down, so killing the surprise.
I
It's-
didn't hold it up.
A gentleman named Total Recall. Oh wait, that's a movie title.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta keep better notes, man.
No, just
Jerry Goldsmith.
Yes.
Jerry Goldsmith. And Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go through some of our
Spoiler alert.
business. That
He does not make gold.
Yeah, no, he does not. But maybe his parents did.
Is he even geriatric?
Oh my gosh.
This is why we can't get anything.
Okay, business. All right.
It's all his fault.
If you want more of this, follow us.
Yeah.
If you're on
Yeah,
YouTube,
we know you do.
if you're on YouTube, just hit subscribe and like and drop your comments too. Let us know what you think of the battles and whatever we're talking about. If you guys have something that you want us to talk about, or if you have something that you just want to get off your chest about some movies.
Yeah. You wanna tell us that next time we should not have special guests on? Tell us.
Let us
we
know.
want to know.
Yeah.
So hey, Bird, you got any news about Conan?
You know, no.
It's too bad.
We almost bought the new Conan movie. We went to
The Jason Momoa.
Yeah, we
Oh,
went
yeah?
to we went
Okay.
to the vintage stock and I picked it up and I was like $5.99. It's not worth it.
Oh, okay. All right. I would have gave $5.99.
No.
Not for that one.
We're gonna pirate that one.
Right.
And the
They
original
stole
wasn't
it.
available, so I didn't get that one. I would have got that
I
one.
used to have like a cool box set of the original two,
Nice.
and I don't know what happened to it.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, but in Conan adjacent news, didn't they cast He-Man?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an actual person
Is
who's.
it Chris Pratt?
It's a dude that he's like a newer. I have no,
No, but
idea
Chris
who he
Pratt
is.
is actually going to do a voiceover for
He's
the
Chris
guy.
Pratt was He-Man on an SNL skit.
No, he's gonna voice Orko.
Okay, that's awesome, dude. I actually hashtag Chris Pratt as Orko.
No, he would be
Yeah, let's
better
start
at
it.
Battle Cat.
Oh gosh, I remember Battle Cat being
he would be
lame
better.
in the original.
Yeah.
Well, he kind
And
of
then
was.
every
Yeah.
interpretation after that, you're like, all right, cool, Battle Cat.
Well, I mean, every time when he was just a regular tiger,
Yeah.
where he wasn't
'cause
fierce or
the
ferocious.
power of Grayskull hadn't hit him either.
Right.
Yeah.
When he was like that, he was like
Yeah.
real timid and like.
Yeah.
I actually like the original, like, because Prince Adam is still like all rocked and ripped. You're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
boy,
you ever watch that
yeah.
SNL skit where The Rock plays Superman?
No.
You should check it out. It's
Okay.
so funny. It reminds me of that a lot.
Give me
Crazier,
one.
crazier than that is. I remember when I was back in the day when I would like read Spider-Man. How many people knew who I'm like, man, Doc Ock knows who you are, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you just taking your mask off everywhere?
Everyone gets to know eventually.
Yeah,
Which is why they're like, oh no, we can't have him stay that way after Civil War.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like,
Finally, Aunt May finds you're the last one. Aunt May.
Last one, dude. Bodega guy was like, that's
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I know that kid's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I recognize his voice.
Same
Yeah.
voice,
I
yeah.
make his sandwiches. I make him and Spider-Man the same sandwich.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the odds they have the same order?
He's smashing flat like he's eating the same sandwich. I just made that sandwich.
I feel like food's always going to be a giveaway because, like, the Flash, like, yeah, this guy rolls in here and eats 20 hamburgers.
Right.
I wonder who he is.
Yeah. All of a sudden he's gone. Like I don't.
yeah.
What happened?
And we have camera footage, guy.
But that's comic books, you know. Fandom, we don't even care. Like it just
I want a
doesn't
comic
matter.
book series that's just all the
Just
random
that, yeah.
side people that's like, guys, I know who. They're like, shut up, man. Like,
Well,
we can't worry about that.
They kind of did that in The Dark Knight, right? With the dude that used to work at.
Oh
Wayne
yeah, he
Enterprises.
threatened, and then Morgan
Also,
Freeman
you
was
know-
like, "Do you really want to do that?"
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've read it, but they took a way more serious tack with it. But Marvel's, right? It's just like a regular photographer guy.
Oh yeah,
But like it's like set in this like the 60s, and he's like experiencing the first appearance of the Avengers, and
and it's
like,
the perspective from the one guy
of that one guy, yeah. But it's like real serious. But I want it to be like a silly one where it's like a guy, and he's like, man, like I keep hearing thumping, right? And I would think it's the neighbor upstairs, but it's the neighbor downstairs. Like, is he walking on the ceiling?
What are the odds?
Goes and tells the super's like, dude, leave me
And you know
alone.
what? His 80-year-old aunt gets kidnapped all the time.
Yeah. No, there's definitely clues. I mean, like
The
neighbors
guy's
have
like,
to know.
the guy's like, you know that neighbor kid? I found his clothes in the trash again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
His backpack just keeps being lying around.
Yeah, tied up in webs.
Yeah.
Just like in a ceiling somewhere.
Yeah. You know he's got an ID or something in there. Like,
Yeah, if lost, return
Property
to
of Peter Parker.
yeah.
Not Spider-Man.
His assignment is on there. Like,
SPI.
Bunch of pictures of Spider-Man in his bag. Yeah, bunch of pictures of Spider-Man from obvious angles.
I'm pretty sure this one's a selfie.
Yeah.
I want him just mask halfway on.
It's like in the mirror, like tease you, not wearing a shirt.
Yeah. Civilians in comic books are dumb, dude.
Oh man,
They have to be.
no, we just don't have their point of view. Is all. We haven't got that yet.
Yeah, maybe they're just real busy. You know?
That feels like a James Gunn, like he's gonna do a civilian point of view
Yeah.
show or something.
I don't want them to, man. I don't want any more stuff like that. We're gonna try a different take on it. Like, you guys can't even get the real stuff right.
just-
Like, don't do
Oh,
side
because
stuff
they did
yet.
that one
Just because you
not
don't
long
want it doesn't mean
ago.
we're not gonna get it.
They did that
Oh,
one not
that's
long
obvious,
ago where it was like Alan Tudyk was Bruce Wayne's cousin or something. He like ran, I don't know if it was like a tech company or something. but-
Oh, yeah, it was a newspaper
It was interesting.
company
It was interesting.
in the world of, like, the DC stuff. Yeah, I remember
it
that.
had a couple moments that were all right.
Because it had Abed from Community
Uh-huh.
and
that dude that does that troll
the
voice.
chick from High School Musical.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's
That's a
that?
big
What's the guy?
I can't say her name because then you guys will know
there
I've
were-
watched High
So
School
listen,
Musical.
it got canceled very quickly.
It's okay.
But it had some really funny. Oh, because I saw there's an episode where like Lois Lane dies, and they're like, "Oh, free day!" Like I can't remember what they called it, but the guy, one dude's like, what are you talking about? We can't just blow off work." And he's like, "Yeah, Lois Lane just died." He's like, "I'm pretty sure this has happened at least 8 other times." Right? Clearly, she has some sort of romantic entanglement with Superman. He's turning back time. So whatever we do for the next however long it takes doesn't matter. Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was the
All right.
premise of the episode.
All right, I'm gonna find that and watch it. I'm gonna try
What
to find
episode?
it.
What show?
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's called.
Oh,
I'll look it up while you're doing the thing.
okay. All right. Well, let's.
So
Let's finally get
no Conan news.
No Conan news, except that
That was the longest we talked about Conan
DVD.
news, though. Yeah, that was a long Conan segment.
Yeah. Well, he deserves it, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So follow us on our other socials. Also, never mentioned that we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. We post different things on each of them, so
Yeah.
follow us on all of them. All right. That's that.
That's that.
We're done. Let's get into it because we haven't got into it yet.
No.
All right, let's start with. Go ahead and get into the battles, or we got anything else that you want?
I don't have anything specific.
You got anything that you want to say that's not part of the?
I got nothing positive.
Okay.
So, just being honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means, but you didn't have to come.
No. What I mean is, there's a lot of current shows going on right now
Uh-huh.
that frustrate me.
Okay.
I won't say any names,
Okay. So sad.
but we're good.
I
Yeah.
got you.
It's called Powerless.
Powerless.
Yes.
It's set in the DC universe, but none of them are DC superheroes.
Nice.
All right.
That's funny. Then that's a funny name.
It is, and it has, like I said, I watched the couple episodes, and then it was like right around the COVID time, and so it just got lost in the shuffle.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I got canceled. But it had some really funny.
But does it say like the actual character names of
They
like,
mentioned
Superman and
they
stuff, or-
mentioned Bruce Wayne and Superman and Lois Lane and
It's not like the big green guy.
yeah, because stuff will happen in the
hammer.
city. You know, like the city will be under siege, and they're
Yeah.
like, we're not
Probably the
going.
Hammer. It's not Marvel's.
I was
Well, I
late to
know,
work
but I'm
today.
just saying like that's what.
No, because it's it was produced by Warner Brothers, so, you know, whoever it is, and so they had the rights to say whoever they wanted
Yeah.
to say.
We'll bring it back. Whoever we have to talk to, bring back Powerless.
Oh, it's not going on anymore.
Oh no, it got canceled very
Yeah.
quickly.
Okay.
Please bring it back. We're
Well,
sorry we
hold
didn't
on,
watch
let's
it.
watch it first, and then we can.
No. I'll die on this.
You're in on it.
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Okay, you're sold. All right.
The cast alone, I'm like, I'll watch it, guys.
Okay, well, let's get into this composer battle,
Yeah.
and then we can celebrate
Is that the guy
the
from
Planet
The
of the
Thing?
Apes.
Franchise.
The
Yeah.
the thing, Fuchs.
These guys are just gonna have their own podcast
Fuchs
over here.
window. Well, he's just saying stuff in my ear.
We're having a podcast within a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll have the screen split. Don't worry.
Mute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They can pan left or right, whichever one they want to
How
listen to at
how
the time.
offensive would it be if you had the power to just mute somebody? Like someone was
You have
talking
the
to
power to just
if someone's like in real life, someone's talking to you and you're just like mute.
oh, like Click.
How do you like, wouldn't
Dude,
you
I'd be using
furious?
it all day long.
You ever see Click?
Yeah, I've seen Click.
Well, don't
It's one of
do
those.
that then.
It's one of those
You don't wanna
movies.
do that. You gotta be careful.
It's one of those movies that you laugh the whole movie, and then by the end of the movie, you're like,
Dang, that's
oh gosh, like, and then you're like, calling your parents afterwards. You're like, I'm so sorry. Like, I hate those movies. I was like, I thought this was a comedy movie.
Nah, at the end of it, like the credits started rolling, I was like, wait, Christopher Walken was in this?
It's a good movie, I think.
Didn't even notice him. That's how good a character actor he is.
That was clearly Christopher Walken.
That was Denzel.
Okay. Oh yeah.
No. We've never seen anything with
Never
Denzel
seen a
in it.
Denzel movie.
Never have.
Okay. Now let's get into the
Yeah.
battle.
Cut all this.
Okay. So, Daniel Pemberton versus Jerry Goldsmith.
Here, can we have our guest read
No.
the list of works that they've done?
If he
Because
wants.
he's got a list. Okay? And it's not going to suggest who he's going to vote for.
No, okay.
In any way, shape, or form.
Joe's trying to make me look bad, and I'm not going to let it happen.
Okay. All right.
So,
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and do it.
yeah.
All right. So Jerry Goldsmith. You might be like, who's Jerry Goldsmith?
It's not a gold maker.
You know who this is.
You've heard him.
If you've watched any movies by Universal, you've heard his music because he wrote the theme music to the Universal logo. Dun, 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 whatever it goes. That one. So that's Jerry Goldsmith.
He doesn't even know it.
Yeah. Well, I know it. I just can't do it.
I got you.
So if maybe somebody could play it on a harmonica,
Yeah, like
that
a-
would work.
That was great.
I don't have one.
Okay, so Jerry Goldsmith, he actually passed away already. He's passed away in 2004. He was 75 years old.
Spoiler alert.
He's got 254 credits to his name,
Young.
but he had a lot of work.
Yeah.
254. So, all right, he did Gremlins, both the first and the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at that list, man, he's like 80s were his time, man.
80s were yeah. hmm He did Rambo, all three Rambos.
Yep.
Nice.
He did The Mummy,
Yeah.
right, with Brandon, what's his name?
Brendan Fraser.
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah.
Total Recall.
Mulan, Total Recall, Mulan,
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, the
That
original.
other-
OG.
That other dumb monkey movie,
The other one?
Congo.
It's not
Congo.
dumb, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a terrible movie.
Rudy,
I like Michael
he
Crichton.
did Rudy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Star Trek, pretty much all the Star Trek movies.
All the Next Generation stuff,
mhm.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Jerry Goldsmith. Like you have heard his music.
Skip some.
And he's going up against the 47-year-old Daniel Pemberton, who's got 145 credits to his name as
Got
of
Some
now.
catching up to do.
Yeah, he's got.
Hey, but he's very young in the game.
The only thing I know about him is that he did the 2 Spider-Verse films.
Okay, I'll give some more examples.
No, okay, hold on. So gosh, man, you're forcing me to talk first, and I don't want to. Go.
Okay, all right. After this, you'll go ahead and say your piece.
Yeah, I guess so. It's out there.
So Daniel Pemberton has done more than just the 2 Spider-Man movies, Into the Spider-Verse movies. He's done the Enola Holmes films. He's done Man from U.N.C.L.E., the Bad Guys animated movie.
What's that?
Bad Guys? You
Yeah.
don't know that one? It's an
It was
animated one. It's
animated
like a wolf.
flop.
It was
Oh,
actually
so that's what.
it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like a wolf. He's a
A wolf.
bad guy.
Woof.
Yeah, he's got a snake buddy, and
They
they're
drive-
all these. They're
Like
bad
a
guys,
sports
but,
car.
but he's trying to not be bad.
But they're bad guys.
It's
They're
like
bad guys.
it's like Fabian Nicieza's version of Deadpool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he did Birds of Prey and Steve Jobs, some other movies.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, man.
Okay, so that's Daniel Pemberton.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and vote now. Go ahead.
Okay. So, like Joe already pointed out, all I did was write down the movies that I had definitely seen or liked that both of them did. Daniel Pemberton, he's only done the Spider-Verse movies for me. The other stuff, I'm like, I've known about it, haven't really watched it, don't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Goldsmith, though, like, you know, you're talking about the 80s film. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the 90s, too, that this guy, I didn't realize he was this big in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Um,
the movie, the one that you got your childhood nickname at. After?
No, Small Soldiers. Yeah. So, yeah, Gremlins, Total Recall, Congo, First Night, U.S. Marshals. These are all movies I got to watch as a kid. Small Soldiers, The Mummy, the original Alien, which I just watched recently in theaters for the anniversary,
Nice.
which was really great. And what kind of helped me obviously pick Jerry Goldsmith is like Joe's made a lot of good points with when you guys do these votes. Like if you can hear the song like on the street and immediately be like, I know that movie. He has like 3 movies for me that I'm like, I know what those are from. Where obviously, yeah, you have the Spider-Verse. It's very unique. You can hear it, and that's fine. But also, I got to say, with Jerry Goldsmith, when he did these soundtracks, these scores, it was all for movies that they didn't need outside music help. Where the Spider-Verse movies, which, let's be honest, is Daniel Pemberton's like strongest case here, they still brought in other artists to do other songs for the movies and stuff. So, I mean, I hate that I'm going first, but I feel like it's just Goldsmith, guys.
You're setting the standard here.
I feel like it's Goldsmith.
The gold standard.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Okay, so we got one for Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh, and the OG Planet. He already talked about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, who's gonna go next? I know Danny's your favorite.
I'm not going next.
You're not going next? You want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
Goldsmith.
Yeah, we all knew.
Okay, same reasons?
Oh, yeah, I mean, look at this list, man.
Yeah, and this isn't
The
even
Universal song.
Yeah, it's not even an executive decision. Didn't make it. 13th Warrior, like all these other stuff, like that, just not in there.
Yeah, the only thing that hurts Goldsmith is that he didn't do the Universal Soldier soundtrack.
Oh,
Because that would have been dope. He did the Universal theme and the Universal Soldier soundtrack.
Yeah, sure.
You cannot argue with that.
okay.
That's how you got to vote, you know?
That's how you gotta vote.
Okay, well, that's 2 then for Jerry Goldsmith. You want to go next or me?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude, he's gonna pull out. He's
I forgot
gonna,
to tell you that
he's gonna sway us all.
your vote only counts as a half a vote.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
All right, man. All
The
right.
guest rule.
See, so this was a tough one because they're so different in it feels like approach to the movies because they're from different times, and so it's hard for me to decide on which one. So like Daniel Pemberton's like the new guy, right? He's got great music. He's definitely got stuff that I would, if I'm just gonna like play something in the car, I'm gonna play Daniel Pemberton stuff first.
Okay.
But if you want to pretend like you're living on Mars,
Yeah, I mean, how
Exploring
often do I
pyramids.
want to do that? Not that often, really.
That's transported.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for entertainment value, Daniel Pemberton all the way. Jerry Goldsmith's got the, like, more old school type of, like, we talked about Bernard Herrmann before, where you can't take the music out of the movies. Like, they're just, it feels like it's actually composed for what's happening on the screen specifically. Yeah. Like there's steps, there's something that's making a sound for the steps.
Yeah.
Whereas Pemberton feels more like it's their themes for the overall feel of the scene.
and you can really feel that with the Spider-Verse movies, right? Like,
Yeah.
because each character has their own theme, and you hear the theme meshed into the rest of the music.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why it's hard for me to like, man, because at one day I might just like, oh no, I just really want to hear Daniel
It's
Pemberton.
a very different style
Yeah.
for sure.
I will say I think that Jerry Goldsmith influenced James Newton Howard in when he did The Fugitive, because in the Planet of the Apes movie with Jerry Goldsmith, there's like a I forget what scene it is. I think it's when like they're first exploring the planet that they landed on. It's like a kind of broken up sound, like a dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 like that kind of sound. And in The Fugitive, the main theme for The Fugitive is like a piano that's kind of like that.
Well, he did U.S. Marshals, which
And that's
is
what
the same.
that's what I was gonna say, is that it's funny because he did that one. So I feel like there was definitely an influence.
Tommy Lee Jones. That was the bridge
That
between it.
could have been.
Yeah.
It's in the notes.
It's in the notes. I wrote it down. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, it says it in there. That
That's can't argue with my notes.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting because he did do U.S. Marshals, and anyway, that's got nothing to do with what I'm gonna vote for. But I just thought that was interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So, man, I'm still not sure, really. Yeah. So if you want to try and sway me, you can.
Okay. He's gonna try.
Yeah, you can try.
Nah, he's too distracted right now. He's like pasta.
Yeah,
pasta.
I smell it. Yeah. The basil. Basil.
Fresh
Puldoris. Because another good one. Another good one. But I feel like you're gonna go with Danny Boy.
I have to.
I feel
the Spider-Verse movies are my lifeblood.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I see no evidence of Spider-Verse in your room right now.
Well, they can't see that wall.
Yeah, see the one with the giant mural up there that I can't paint it. It looks incredible.
I don't see it either.
They've just impacted me, and specifically the music, in a way that like I changed how I even tell my own stories. Just listening to him talk about his own music. And it's just really interesting. There's a lot of complexity to it. There's a lot of nuance to a lot of stuff that you don't really hear the first time.
It's about the music, not how he talks about his music.
I'm aware. And it's in the music. I will say, I am incredibly biased. And I can see...
You made the whole list, bro.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which did not include Jerry Goldsmith at the beginning.
Exactly. And
I'm glad he's in now. I'm glad he's in.
That Jerry Goldsmith is the better one, and I should vote for him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to, because someone needs to vote for Daniel Pemberton, and it's not going to be anybody else.
Yeah, now it's going to be Bird.
I know. And I don't know that he is the better one. Because he does have great music. Like, he composes great music for movies.
I think overall...
So is that not
he
better?
just hasn't hit...
No. Daniel Pemberton? Daniel Pemberton composes great music for movies.
Oh, okay,
I'm saying...
I'm defending the wrong guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel Pemberton has like... I think part of it is Jerry Goldsmith got lucky and he got a whole lot of... already really good movies that were kind of destined to become iconic that he enhanced.
They were destined to become, or he helped them become.
Exactly, he helped
them
become.
That's kind of disrespectful, man.
Yeah,
he's passed away. Like, you got lucky.
He's like, yeah, you got lucky with. I mean, okay.
But, like, was Daniel Pemberton ever going to get super well known because he did Enola Holmes?
I mean, that was that.
Yeah,
that
but
was
that's
the hope.
that's
Millie Bobby Brown was like a big.
Yeah, and that's the dice that you roll, because like Alien was a dice roll, man. Like, you had a 1980s female lead in a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
There was no reason for that movie to be successful, right?
Because she'd only done stuff on Broadway.
Absolutely, and like Gremlins. I mean, like, yes, some of these, like Total Recall was definitely always going to be a blockbuster, right? Yeah. But there's no reason. Like, every single movie is a roll of the dice. Like, you don't just get to the point where people are offering you blockbusters because you lucked into it. Like, he did good work.
Yeah.
They gave him great movies.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's not the case. That is definitely part of it with him. I think Pemberton is probably going to start getting that now. But he also generally takes a lot of lower budget stuff, a lot of the not blockbuster movies. So he doesn't really get the chance as much as Jerry Goldsmith to create an iconic sound that'll become this extremely well-known cultural thing. Part of it is he just hasn't for a lot of these movies. I can admit that. A lot of them are not weak, but compared to something like Goldsmith does, where he really enhances every single movie, most of them with his style. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but the numbers don't add up, right? So Daniel Pemberton's got 145 credits. Okay, then we've got Michael Giacchino, right? Another one of your favorites. He's got 167, so not a whole lot more, but he's done some incredible, memorable stuff, right? True. James Newton Howard's got 183, so a little bit more. But again, like, he's got the Hunger Games and whatever, like another
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that you remember. Ludwig Göransson, who is more in his wheelhouse, right? He's got 75 credits to his name.
Yeah.
And like he's already
Probably bigger than a lot of the other names.
Sounds like Bird's made a decision.
No, but see, that's
he's already. But we had him.
That's not true.
Right.
I'm saying this against him, yes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't negate the quality of music that he does make right now.
He does some good stuff for Netflix.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's great. Yeah.
He does. I think if there's no other point, then I will lean toward Goldsmith because of what I mentioned earlier. Of like his stuff just feels like it's for that specific movie.
Yeah.
I got you.
Especially because like what it sounds like is happening is you're going like, yeah, they both do great work. Like it's indisputable. So if we remove the quality of the work, and then we just pile the work next to each other.
Which one are you gonna go to?
Yeah, which pile is going to tip the scales?
Right. Well, based off of his notes.
Hey, stop making me the bad guy. Joe is making a huge case. I just wrote down the movies I liked. I'm sorry I didn't watch Enola Holmes or The Bad Guys, but like this was stuff that like I've watched since I was a kid. And so I yearly I go back to some of these movies, and so
Yeah, I mean,
when I walked in, he was watching Total Recall.
but that's the difference, right? Like all of us grew up with Goldsmith music, and just now are getting into Pemberton. He is growing up with Pemberton, so like that's gonna be his memory.
Well, yeah,
right? Like so when he does these battles.
20 years from now,
he's
gonna be like, guys, but he's done all this stuff. He finally got away from Netflix, and look at all that he's done.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
And
I feel like that. I feel like that argument can also go the other way because, like, in 20 years, he's also gonna be like, "Oh man, I can't believe Skibbity Toilet or whatever that thing's called happened." You know, like that was my generation. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's possible. It could. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he made a good case for Daniel. I feel like it's gonna stand the test of time with TallBeing. I feel like 20 years from now, he's gonna have like it's gonna be like what you're saying. It's gonna be like the 20 more like amazing projects that he's done.
Yeah, that
still like make people feel stuff.
I hope.
You know?
Right. I hope and dream that Pemberton gets to do the next Conan movie.
That'd be
Just so you guys, just for both of you guys,
just for a connection.
Yeah.
It's the cross-generational gap.
And you look over at him, you're like, I get it now.
No. What happened is like the credits will roll and like the music that Pemberton wrote for it will play, and he'll look over with like a tear streaming down, and be like, I finally love you.
Oh God.
With this and with the whole Mother's Bell situation, like there's definitely a wedge being driven between.
Yeah, I know. I can feel it, man.
Oh man. But it's all preference, right? Like, like we're more 80s, you're more 90s, and he's 2010s.
I'm more 90s, but also like because of the parents I had.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 80s in there, and like running around with Joe, you get a lot of the 80s, and so like
it's Memphis.
Oh yeah, Memphis. Whatever. Bleep that out.
So that's. I mean, Jared Goldsmith is going to win.
Yeah,
he's going to move on.
I anticipated this. I knew Pemberton was not going.
Hey, wild card.
He saw my notes.
Yeah. Well, again, it's preference. So if you guys are like, no, Pemberton is the one. He should move forward.
Yeah.
Let us know why you
false
think
information.
Make a case for Enola Holmes, would you?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing it.
I really liked Enola Holmes.
Did you like the music?
I like the music for it.
This should not surprise you. I didn't even know it existed until you guys started talking about it.
Yeah.
No, I gotta pull up. You pull up.
We got a clip. We got a clip of Enola Holmes. I'm just kidding.
It's up there somewhere.
What am I looking at?
Pull up not Enola Holmes. Pull up Pemberton's his music, his movies, because he's got some other stuff in there that
King Arthur.
Yeah, King Arthur. That takes out The First Night.
No, all right, hold up. No.
Ocean's 8.
The music, though, the movie itself.
Ferrari.
Listen to King Arthur. Ferrari.
Hold on,
Another
did we
good
finish voting? Because now you're like,
Being the Ricardos.
I'm just saying he's good.
you want to recount the ballots here, man. Like,
The trial of the Chicago 7.
That's a good one too.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, I don't know.
Maybe
That was
yesterday.
Ocean's 8.
is that the
The,
all-female
the
one?
lady one.
Oh, Enola Holmes again. It's just take a girl and put it in the
Gold.
Just gold.
I've
don't
never
even know
heard of
that
it.
one.
Okay.
I mean, there's snoozers everywhere.
Cuban Fury.
That
Classic.
sounds cool. I'm gonna write it down. Cuban Fury.
The Haunted Airman. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these, man.
No?
I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, we got
backfired, man.
Spider-Man's Birds of Prey.
That's about it.
That's about it, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yesterday.
there's ones.
But
King Arthur. And
I feel like it's hard to include yesterday because
What do you remember
It's
about
mostly
that?
the
What music do you remember?
Beatles. Yeah. But anyway, my point was that
I didn't want to have to say it, but it's the Beatles.
Yeah.
Blood.
Let us know, guys. Let us know.
Going through.
Give us a good case for Pemberton, and if we need to do a recount,
The
probably
man
still
from
gonna lose.
Uncle.
Probably. Yeah.
but we would like to know. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Who's coming up next on the
All right.
battles?
Next, we have
There's
a
two.
very, very interesting one.
Okay,
We've got
go ahead and write that
Mr.
down.
Howard Lord of the Rings Shore
Okay.
versus, as we were just talking about, Bernard Herrmann.
Oh,
Some more old school, either way, but still different styles.
Yeah.
That's something you find with these is you think like, okay, their music is similar, but then when you really listen to a lot of these composers, they all do have very specific styles.
Yeah.
Like any other artist. It's really interesting.
yeah, yeah. And this is it's a good one because Herman is not our era.
Mm-hmm.
Shore is more our era,
Mhm.
but Herman is so good.
Remind me some of his stuff. Bernard
Herrmann?
Herrmann. Yeah.
He did all the Hitchcock
Monsters?
stuff. Psycho,
Monsters.
The Birds.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So I would have to actually like go
Northwest.
like really go
You know,
back.
say-
A Man Who Knew Too Much.
Herman is
Taxi
significantly
Driver. I
before
love
us.
that one.
Taxi Driver.
Citizen Kane.
Okay.
Citizen Kane's a dope movie.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies ever.
Journey to the Center of the
Supposedly.
Earth.
Oh, I know where my vote's going. Say no more.
Yeah. So yeah, Herman. I mean, he's a heavy hitter.
Okay.
So this would be another toughie. All right. Well, cool.
12
You guys-
Monkeys. Wait, no.
No.
That can't be right.
Yeah, that's
12
not
Monkeys?
right. That is not right.
There's no way. Hold on.
Hey, it's the year of the monkey movie.
Yeah. Have you seen 12 Monkeys?
Is that with Bruce Willis?
Yeah,
And the...
Brad Pitt's in it.
I believe I've seen it,
Uh-huh.
but I'm having a hard time like recalling.
Yeah, especially if you watched it when you're young, you're like, well, what is happening?
It's
Right
funny
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's kind of Bruce Willis in the movie. He's like, I don't know what's going on right now. I love that movie.
Is Denzel Washington in it?
Yeah, I think.
Can I tell you guys a really funny story? Right. Recently, I apologize for telling the story. My wife. Recently,
excited now.
hold on. Go ahead.
Wait, no, don't believe him. Come on.
so recently I was like, I mentioned a box or something. She's like, what's in the box? And I was like, and then she was like, I said that right? And I'm like, oh yeah, like Seven, the movie, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, oh, I don't know where it's from. I was like, you don't know where it's from? You've never seen Seven, where like his wife's head is in a box, and she's like, what? I was like, you have no idea what I'm talking about. She's never seen it, but it's such like a cultural saying
Yeah.
that like she was on board, and so when she found out that what was in the box was dude's
Severed
wife's
head,
head,
yeah.
she was like, I don't think I'm gonna say that anymore.
The context of this.
That is awesome.
That's
Yeah.
probably a good move.
Now I know.
She's like, why do we all say that as a joke? Like we're at camp, like youth camp.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? That's awesome.
Oh man. All right. Are we doing the apes now?
We're doing the apes.
Dude,
Okay, that's what we're here for. Apes together strong.
say his words.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna. I think maybe start at the beginning,
We start. It's a very good place.
and then
So
go from there.
Charleston Heston gets in a spacecraft.
yeah, we're just gonna talk about. We're gonna give a summary of the whole movie. Just stop.
In the beginning was God.
Oh,
No.
very beginning. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Created apes.
first.
Okay, so where do we want to start? How do we want to start this?
So we watched the original one.
Yeah.
I think we start there. Just
Okay.
our initial thoughts, because I, going into these movies, had not seen any of them whatsoever.
That's true.
You have seen had seen the Tim Burton one, right?
Yeah.
And did you see the original?
I don't even remember anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I had,
Okay.
but a long time ago.
I had seen both, and the original one really not long ago,
Mhm.
and the one with James Franco.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only ones you've seen.
Still,
Yeah. Okay. And
And then-
you've seen all of them.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
So let's overall thoughts on the franchise.
Why is this not bigger? And I have an answer for that. It's not a rhetorical
So-
question.
spoiler alert. He told us earlier.
Oh, okay.
It's because they can't sell toys.
Mm.
That is-
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense, because
That
like
is
what
my
I watched...
one
Yeah.
thing.
Because what I watched talking about the original ones, there was a lot of stuff pushing the toys.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's what was keeping it going, because they had the adult demographic that was enjoying it,
Yeah.
and the kid demographic, which really didn't know the underlining tones of the films, that just thought it was neat. They're fighting apes, and
Yeah.
what, you know.
Right.
So that makes sense. Yeah, no toys. No toys.
I feel like you can get some cool toys though,
Yeah.
especially the new stuff.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
definitely
You
collect.
can come out
Like
with a
some
playset.
plushies?
A playset that's
No, not plushies, but like I was thinking action figures. Like you can snuggle
Well,
them.
because I'm talking like kids are the ones that are buying the
Yeah.
toys,
Well,
right?
I buy toys. So
Well, sure.
I buy a
We
Cobra
actually,
plushie.
no, we don't buy toys. Buy action figures.
I can call them toys. I'm pretty masculine about it. Toys.
All right.
I'll say you could come out with like a set that's got like the Statue of Liberty like buried in the center.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You do some cool
That'd be
stuff.
that'd be easy, an easy.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
there's definitely things. I'm sure maybe it's just not enough people that will buy the
I can-
toys.
I can tell you-
but that is a very good point, though.
with the
Yeah.
original movies, it might not have been a problem then, but nowadays, like they just straight up using guns, right? Like
Yeah. That's
people have a
little
hard
harder.
time with toys with guns.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They don't really use guns in the whole franchise though. Like the original one, they had guns.
I don't know. There's a lot of gun violence in
There's-
the original stuff.
In the original
The
movie.
original stuff. There's a lot of gun violence.
Yeah, but the
the
new
dude
ones
gets shot
now-
in the neck, man.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
The Marky Mark one, they don't use
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah, but not even in
He
like,
does, and
the
it
Franco
just gets
one.
crushed.
They don't really use guns in that one because they're not.
They be
not
carrying
intelligent
guns.
yet.
There was more guns as those movies progressed.
Right, but even in the newest one, they're more spears. Still.
Well, yeah, because it's
If
like
the-
the kingdom now. It's
The
like we don't
story
need
is
this
centered
stuff.
around them finding guns, though.
That's true, and that's how they want to
Guns
advance.
are a plot device.
I will tell you,
That's
these
true.
films,
Okay, all right,
these films
all right.
push horses a lot.
That's
I'll
true.
tell you that.
Yeah, and I
More horse
I
violence
can
than
tell you,
guns.
there are not enough articulated horse action figures.
Yeah,
I can tell you that from
Experience.
deep knowledge.
My
Not
daughter
even the
has some
Barbies.
like they don't even move. The legs don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
move.
Mm-hmm.
It's lame.
No
Just-
points of articulation.
Yeah, they're like, but it's
got
got lifelike hair. Nobody care about their hair.
Yeah, move the legs.
My Little Ponies are
Come
not
on,
even
Mattel,
like that.
move the
I
legs.
don't know.
Anyway,
My Little Pony has changed.
I don't want to talk
For
about
the
that.
worst.
I'm
I
shutting that
thought
down.
you were masculine.
I'm masculine, not pony masculine.
You're not a brony?
Dude, no.
You want to get into some deep lore talk.
No. It's not my notes. So,
Okay, all right. Well, so overall for me, love the 8 movies.
oh, so good.
Oh yeah, I'm hooked on these now.
Yeah, I was super excited when because I think you were like, I think it's time for Apes,
I think so.
and I was like, yes,
It's about
do it.
time.
So I'm super happy that they're making new ones. I look forward to the new ones.
See, I just watched that new Aquaman movie. What am I doing, man?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude,
I still
don't
haven't
waste
seen
your
Aquaman.
time,
It
man.
was
We haven't
terrible.
seen the new one at all.
It was dumb.
You know,
Yeah.
we never even saw the new Wonder Woman, the '84.
It's not good.
Okay, well, what's your overall feelings of the 8 movies?
Oh, dude, apes together strong. I feel like and it's really weird, but I feel like we needed something like this right now because, like,
Because Marvel's taking a crap.
yeah, I mean, like they keep making stuff that's like just for this group or just for that group, and then they finally made something where it's like it's weird to be like, I think everyone can kind of relate with apes, but it was like, you know, you get really invested with these apes, and there's no agenda, there's no demographic they were trying to reach. It's just, we're making a movie about apes, man. We want you guys to really feel for these guys.
Yeah.
And even the human characters that come in or on the side, you still like them, but it always ends with like, I just need the apes to win, though. Like, I need them to make it. And I got to be honest, like, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes with James Franco, I watched that. It didn't really, like, resonate with me. I thought it was really cool when he finally spoke, and there was all these, like, big scenes. But Dawn was when I was like, oh, this has a different feel for it. You know, and then from then on, I feel like it just keeps building, and I want more.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things I really appreciate about him, like I've only seen like 3 of them, right? I love the original one. Think it's great. I mean, the Marky Mark one, it's rough,
great.
Right?
It's good.
But
You guys should all go watch it.
what I really appreciate about the recent ones is that, like, because it's really tough to get good sci-fi fantasy stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and they just continually, like, because we're on like number 4 now, right?
Yeah, this is the 4th
Like,
one with the new.
They come out and like they are good,
Yeah.
and they're successful, and they just go right under the radar, man.
Yeah.
But we're getting science fiction, and I feel like they're keeping alive the possibility for like enough people to see it and be exposed to it and go, hey, we should get more science fiction and fantasy and stuff. Like, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because after we watched the latest one, we're talking how I think that I do really like sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some
It's
of my
something I
favorite
was
movies
discovering
are.
this year is I've been reading a lot of sci-fi. I was like, oh, this might be my favorite genre.
Yeah.
So it's cool seeing.
I
that.
is
never
good.
really realized it, but I think when sci-fi is done well,
Mhm.
and I think it started obviously with the original Planet of the Apes movies, it is super entertaining, but it's also like thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main things that I like about these movies. It's not just like, oh, what if, you know, this weird thing happens. No, it's like there's depth to the movies. I'm gonna say something about you're talking about the general audience. So we watched it with my girls, well, one of my girls, and this is the one that like she doesn't laugh when we watch like comedy specials.
Okay.
She'll just sit and watch, like
Yeah.
no emotion shown, right?
Yeah, it's just, interesting.
Yeah, at the end, like, did you like it? Yeah, it was cool. She likes rom-coms way more than anything, right?
Okay.
But she was totally invested in Caesar's story.
Yes.
By the end of Dawn, she was like, I almost cried. Oh, so she almost showed emotion, which was a big thing for us.
Oh, man.
It's like, this is the thing that finally got you?
Yeah, like
Caesar,
a
man.
monkey?
Hey.
Like, it's
He's
not
more than
even
a monkey,
real?
man.
That's the thing that's really cool about it, because even in the original, like, when you watch them interacting with the humans, like, because there comes a point in the original when you're like, I think everybody would be better off if he just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Who, the
human, man. Like, he really...
He disrupted a lot.
Yeah, and like, and legitimately, like, I think you kind of get that same idea. Like, that's the question that's being asked. Like, are we really better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we fighting so hard to keep the status of the world when potentially something else could come along and be better, right? Because what do? We kill each other and we fight over land and everything else, like, and so they it sounds like they just do a really good job of getting you to think and really take a look at, like, who really is the bad guy here, right?
Yeah.
It's the humans.
Well, okay, so there's a scene in it's either Dawn or this newest one. No, it's not the newest one because it's
War.
Yes, it was probably War,
Yeah.
where Caesar's like, I used to think that we were better than
Yeah.
humans,
Yeah, it's war.
but now I see that we're the same.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it that eloquently, 'cause
Yeah.
I use big words.
Because he has that moment where he's talking with Rocket, and then he's like, I think Koba was right.
Yeah,
And it's like, and you know, the third movie, he has all these opportunities to be exactly like Koba, to the point where he's like seeing Koba, you know?
Yeah.
And like I thought that was cool. Yeah. Oh gosh, guys,
It's one of the reasons.
the movies are great.
It's one of the reasons. It's one of the things I really love about most zombie like movies and shows. Right, the zombies are there, but the real bad guys always
They're the people.
the other people. You know, like,
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened with Walking Dead. There was like a whole season where I'm like, no one's dying from zombie attacks. And they're just killing
just
each
from each
other.
other.
Yeah. I'm like, the zombies are just trees now in the background. And I'm like, guys, can we have more zombie violence?
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with them, is that there's just so much to it where you think one thing, but then they present something from a different point of view, which they're using apes in this case.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe we're not better than animals.
No.
And if they did become better, then they would also just be like us and not be better at some point too.
Yeah. Which we're kind of seeing that with like the new one. Like they're having clans now and they're already separating from themselves to where they don't even know what's going on
Right.
with the other ape colonies and stuff. And so like I feel like you are going to see more of like, you know, like how Proximus is, like he's this bad ruler, you know, not to his people, but to Noah coming in, like, oh man, like this is different, you know, like, and so I think you're gonna start seeing more of that, of like, oh, these guys are very different, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so should we talk about Proximus right now since you mentioned him?
Oh, we can.
Sure, yeah.
I was trying not to skip around too much, but
Okay.
we brought him up. So
Okay.
we'll go with.
You seem to want to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, do you care about spoilers?
Oh, you haven't seen the.
I've long since. I mean, I'm sure I'll get around to eventually. Though.
Okay.
Well, okay.
It could be a year from now, and I'll be like, hey, guess what I just watched?
Yeah. You're like, you know what? You guys were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen any of the Planet of the Apes stuff, we're going to be spoiling some of the
Also,
stuff.
how dare you? How dare you not go see it?
Yeah. Go
This is
support
why
these
people
monkeys.
want you off the.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so
You're letting cinema die.
Yeah.
the newest movie is
Kingdom.
of the Planet of the Apes, and the main villain is Proximus Caesar.
Yeah.
So, through third trilogy? What is?
What?
What?
When did Caesar's story start?
I just call this prequel.
I know,
First
but
movie. But it was like a whole new.
okay.
telling.
So before we get into that, then.
Okay.
All right. So
Clarify the
Caesar's
timeline.
Yeah. Caesar's story is a prequel to the idea of Planet of the Apes.
In theory, yes, they're not connected.
It's
They've
not
already-
connected to the original.
Yeah, they
right?
already stated that. But
Right.
yes.
Right. I just kind of want to clear that up so that like we can talk about the original, but it has nothing to do with these new ones.
Yes.
Even though I thought when Rise first came out, I was like, oh, they're doing prequels.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like,
Yeah.
and then
To
they
the Tim
mentioned
Burton film, yeah.
no,
They're doing prequels to it.
I threw that out.
We forgot about
Yeah,
it.
that was trash compactor. You're gone. Yeah.
How great would it be if the next one at the very end, like it ends with like one of the apes like falling off a roof or something, and he lands on the steps of the
The Thade.
the Thade statue, and like Wahlberg is there, and he's like,
How's your mom?
Like a Spider-Verse situation in his like ape-verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
"Hey monkey, you gotta help me get out of here."
Yeah. Say hi to your mother for me. All right.
Okay,
right, so yeah,
so that's
Proximus.
that's the timeline is it's a whole new Planet of the Apes series.
Yep.
Nothing to do with the original one except for the main idea, which I think is what the problem was with the remake. Just gonna throw that in there.
Yeah.
Let's talk at length.
little jab at it. So okay, you got the first three with Caesar's story, right? Where we build Caesar as the main character. He's the leader of the new intelligent apes, and then he's got his like apes don't kill apes,
Yep,
apes
the
together
laws,
strong.
Yeah.
He establishes all that. He's like, you see how he like cares for all the apes, no matter who it is. Like you see it in his face when they're getting beat, and he's like, "Stop!
Yeah.
Leave him alone!"
Yeah. He hates it, man.
Yeah.
Like he hates humans, but like he doesn't want to kill him. He's just like
He
we
knows
have to
that
be
there's
better.
good in
Yeah.
humans, but like he's like, I'm out with you guys though.
Yeah.
All the good guys I knew are gone now, and now I'm taking care of my family. So like you got his story established, And then we move on to the new generation, right? Because this movie supposedly takes place 300 years or so after.
Is it that long? I thought 300.
That's what I heard from the director.
Okay.
He called me.
He called you.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be right. I was like trying to remember.
Me,
I was like
but-
300.
And now we've got Proxima Caesar.
Yeah.
I mean, like we practically got ourselves a Caesar salad.
No, that's not. No, that's not good, man. All right.
Write it down.
Caesar salad. Oh,
Bleep
God.
that out at.
Josh, yeah.
Okay, so the Proxima Caesar story, since this is 300 years or whatever it is removed from Caesar, we've got the Eagle Clan, right, which is these are the new main characters.
Yeah.
And then we've got Proxima Caesar, who's like way over here, who finds the Eagle Clan. His whole deal is he knows about Caesar, and he takes some of the teachings, like ape together strong.
Yeah.
But he also found a passion for Roman history.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so that's where he took the Caesar part from. Like, hey, Caesars were all kings and leaders in this time, and they like controlled everything. So like he adopted that part also, along with some of Caesar's teachings. So it was really interesting setting that up of like, now you have this religious kind of aspect to the story where they're twisting the original context of or the original meanings.
Very true to life.
Yes.
Like the Crusades.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's the vibe I got.
Exactly.
Like,
again, that's why these movies are so intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Because it's taking these realities and then it's turning them into entertainment, like something that you can like watch without until you really think about it. You go, wait a minute, this is not just a fun movie. This is telling me something.
Yeah.
And it's a deep thing that it's trying to tell you. Like so that's Proxima Caesar's story. Is he's like this leader that he's trying to manipulate all the other apes to do what he wants, because he wants full control. And like he had mentioned, he's looking for the guns so he can.
Well, he's just looking for power.
He's looking for
because
power.
he's always like apes together strong, apes together strong. Like that's, and so he's so fixated on strong that it's like, well, we have to be stronger. So that's why he's bringing you more apes. He's bringing you more things.
Right, but he's bringing them in to get into that cave.
Yeah, because
he knows in that cave is where the humans were keeping all the secrets, which was like the guns, the planes. Like he was like, I've heard stories of people flying in the air. We can fly in the air if we can find this technology. Like we need to find this technology for us, for me. And so like he's obsessed with that idea of like, if I can get this technology, I can advance us, and then I'm going to be more powerful.
Yeah.
It's like Battlefield Earth.
I don't know. Is it?
It's not.
Is that
The movie's terrible. Don't watch it.
John Travolta?
Yeah, John Travolta.
Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie Pepper.
I mean, it's not new things, right? Like there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like, but it's just being presented in a way that you haven't seen. You haven't seen apes do it, so it's cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop talking for a minute. You guys go ahead.
You really like Proximus, man.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, okay. I said I'm gonna stop talking. You guys go ahead.
So I'd like to jump onto that.
Okay.
Because yeah,
'Cause he also likes Proxima.
I do. I like the idea of Proximus. I didn't actually like his execution a whole lot in the movie. I think he should have been in it more.
Yeah.
He give him like 10, 15, 20 minutes more screen time. I would have been fully on board. But he shows up a little too late into the movie to be like,
And then-
oh yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and then like spoiler, but like that's it.
This whole thing's spoilers, right?
You know, like he's in that.
Right.
Yeah.
He comes in at the end, doesn't live. You know, so it's like,
well,
so
Or
you're kinda
does he?
I think he does, Joe. So, but like I agree with you. They should have like brought him in as like this big threat, and then like
could have done a
for
lot with
these
him, but-
for this new trilogy you're trying to do 300 years later, like have him continue to be in it.
Yeah.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
You know.
I like how like they don't show it, right? You just see the top spinning, You know,
This is what happens when you don't watch the movie.
I would have paid for your ticket, Joe, just so you would know what was going on.
We ended up going last minute, or else we would have invited both of you.
man, I had birthdays and
I know it,
all
and that's
kinds-
why
it's
like
been
we were
crazy.
just like, you want to go right now? All right, let's go.
Don't worry, I went and watched it. I was not gonna miss out.
We're not gonna wait on
my
this.
daughter had.
I'm not gonna say when I watched it, and you guys shouldn't say when you watch it. So neither of us look like bad guys. Okay? You didn't invite me. I didn't invite you.
Strong.
Neither of us invited Joe, so it doesn't matter. Okay? All right. We've all seen it.
You want to know a secret? I never would have watched it anyway.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Well, I got to catch up first, man. I'm
Okay,
like
that's true.
2 movies behind.
You-
I don't remember that Franco one very well.
You'll really appreciate the 2 after the Franco one. Franco one's really just set up. Dawn and War are very, very important.
Don't
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but that's another thing that I appreciate about the movies is I think that it's all a continuous story.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's still got throwbacks to the original, the Rise movie. So if you haven't seen Rise, you might be like, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But if you've seen it, you go, that's that thing.
Yeah.
And
Like he's still feeling that.
Yeah.
And he's still thinking about
like
him.
Caesar is still in this story, even if he's not in it.
His
Yeah.
spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's living
Well, like-
through the new Noah character.
Well, like the orangutan, he was like, no, we're part of a group that's
Yeah.
wanting to keep his original teachings and stuff.
Yeah.
That dude was so... All right. We cut you off.
We? I don't know. I'm not going to take responsibility for that.
So, I'll kind of add to this, like something that you will understand. The closest comparison I can make to what this series is doing is the Mistborn eras. It is very similar, where it has the original trilogy, where it's like, okay, we have these core ideas, and then we're gonna giant time skip and see how just this world has changed, and it's doing it just as well as that has been, and it's really cool to see. So
Because
like,
it still has all the elements that you love.
yeah,
right?
but it's changed things, and like, oh, that makes sense that it changed to become this.
Mhm.
And these different groups are taking different ideas, or the core idea, and splitting off in these different ways. It's like, oh, you can see where they all came from the original spot, but now they're so far from removed from each other. It's like, oh, it makes sense. It's very, I guess, realistic is the word to use for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy it. As a whole, the reboot prequels, I have like a note specifically about this. My main problem, we talked about this when we did the Lost episode, my main problem with the Tim Burton movie is that half the time it wanted to be something entirely different. It did not want to be a Planet of the Apes movie.
Still good.
And then half the time it wanted to take the original Planet of the Apes and become a modern Hollywoodized version of it that takes a lot of those ideas. It's like, all right, we're going to make it a little more digestible, so they're not spouting 2-paragraph long shouting matches at each other just to get their points across. We're going to try to turn it into like a Hollywood blockbuster.
This isn't the 70s anymore. We're civilized.
Exactly. We have shorter attention spans, dang it. And the original Planet of the Apes, just, you can't do that with it without really mutilating a lot of that core story.
Yeah,
Right.
and we talked in the Lost episode. I mean, we mentioned how like Tim Burton, there you can see his fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't. Tim Burton, this was just not the right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when.
Fit.
Yeah, you know, like I'm sure that there are people out there who like love the new Willy Wonka stuff, but like I see the pictures and I'm like I don't know, just maybe it's because I grew up with the original, like the Tim Burtonized version just is hard for me to get on board with, you know, like because I can just see his thumbprint all over it, and I'm like,
I don't
nah,
want to
man.
Well,
see
you kind of hit on it. You know, talking about like how the Tim Burton one is the only one that feels different. Like to the point where these prequels, like you're wanting to call them prequels. Like it's not a retcon. It's like, man, these could fit. So far, there's been nothing to indicate. You know.
So that's that's where I was getting to, is what I really enjoy in like the masterstroke of genius in doing the original trilogy now as prequels is you can take those original themes and ideas from the movie and reincorporate them in an entirely new story that's done just as well, I think, but for that more modern audience of, okay, we're going to have big action spectacle sequences, we're going to have more modern pacing and writing styles and characters that are actual characters and not just personified ideas.
Right.
But do it in an entirely new way so that, one, I want to watch it again because it's fresh. It's not just the original one spouted back out at us with better CGI.
And Mark Wahlberg.
It's an entirely new story that takes those original ideas at the start and then is now morphing them into new forms of its own ideas, which is so cool to see. Yeah. 4 movies in, they're like, okay, how can we take this a step further than even the original movie took it? How can we continue this argument in a new way of the humans and the apes and just that clash between which one deserves to be on the planet now?
It's real clear from the things that I've read and like just from the conversation you guys have, like it's real clear that there's a firm guiding hand on it. Yeah. Which a lot of series and things today, like Marvel, Star Wars, like
you'd say them. It's right.
you can see some areas where those were there,
but it's not over everything.
It's not over everything, yeah. Because I mean, there's also like Mando season 3. Like, well, I'm sorry, like clearly something was going on, right? Like, it's one of the reasons I think Marvel's been struggling so hard lately. Like, it's just you want to do all the things.
Yeah. Well, the Marvel movies, man, I mean, they could have failed. Like, the first couple of films, like, leading up to the 2012, they could have failed. And so they were so thought out and took their time with it and was smart to where that's why we prefer all the first stuff first. Now, they're just giving money, and it's like, man, do whatever you want. We have to do a certain amount of stuff per year. Yeah. With these 8 movies, I mean, when did the last one come out? It was a while back. It was before COVID.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Apart.
These are all like up to 30
It's allowing us to, crave it. Like we honestly, we're not getting to the point where we're over it. We're not.
Right.
Superhero fatigue.
Yeah, and which isn't a thing. It's
there's no ape fatigue.
Yeah, there's not going to be ape fatigue, but the superhero fatigue.
They've proven there's no such thing as superhero fatigue.
Yeah, you can still do stuff that's
stop
great.
Putting out garbage.
Yeah, guys, I know you're not going to like me, but some of the stuff sucks. But the ape stuff, man, you've already said it. Like, even your daughter can get into it. It's keeping the original stuff fans invested because of how it feels, and they're clearly taking their time with it. Like,
it's about good storytelling.
Yeah, and that's what we always say here is that, like, if the story is good, then it's gonna be good.
Dude, I don't care if it's a monkey, a fish, a car. Like, if I can relate to it, like, it doesn't have to be a white guy for me to relate to it. Like, just give me something that I'm like, oh, I felt that way too. And I think they forget that now. Like, honestly,
they definitely do. I mean, we've talked about this so many times, and I'm sure you've heard like it becomes more, some companies, about pushing an agenda or a theme than it does about just telling a good story. Like, just tell us a good story, and it can be a flipping car. Yeah. Like, it could be a panda. Like, and that doesn't. I mean, it can be from a different country. Like, it can be from a world where apes now have the same intelligence as humans. Like, as long as you're telling a good story.
Now here I am taking the quiz on the BuzzFeed. Like, which ape am I? Because it's like I don't care. I just want to know. Yeah. I love Rocket.
That's exactly. The side characters are still just as likable as the main character.
Dude, bad
or dislikable, like a Koba. Like, he was the bad guy, but like
he had his I'm just kidding.
But you still are like, Koba was kind of cool.
Yeah. He had a cool scar. Whatever. I mean,
but that goes back to, like, it's good writing, because, like, you know what bad writing does is makes everything a joke. Like, it's one of the reasons, like, I hate what they've done to Thor. Like, not only is Thor a joke, but, like, all his side characters are jokes. Like, it's like they're afraid to be serious. Like, they were like, man, no, that Dark World was too serious. We got to, like, veer real hard away from that. But there's just a reality that, like, we can handle serious. Like, James Gunn does serious very well, and he doesn't undercut it, by throwing in like little jokes. Like he lets the serious moment be serious.
Yeah.
And then he has moments that are fun.
The comedy feels realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we wouldn't make jokes in certain settings.
Absolutely.
But then there's going to be settings where we're not taking it serious.
Well, that's why I say undercutting it, because they'll have a serious moment, and someone will make a joke that doesn't fit in because they want to cut the tension and move on.
Yeah.
But
so you're not having time to feel anything.
Yeah, but it's like your daughter, like she said, like I almost cried about that. Yeah. Like if they had undercut it and like made a joke at that moment. Yeah. That you would not have gotten that experience.
The whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's
like Caesar salad joke. It's like right in the middle of it. Yeah.
Just really took the steam.
Sometimes jokes aren't needed.
He's not coming back.
Oh gosh.
I'm just kidding.
But like this, right? Like so, this is. You guys are getting to know these characters, right? Mm-hmm. Like you guys are characters right now.
Oh,
and
it probably becomes obvious that we have known each other a lot longer.
That's my point, right? Like so that, and when we're seeing that on screen, when you can see like, oh, I understand their relationship. Yeah. They would be at a funeral and then make jokes to each other.
I don't know if we make jokes at funerals.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would also depend on who you're with, right?
Oh, that's true. Depends on funeral.
Because with your wife, I'm sure you wouldn't.
Absolutely not, right? But if I'm standing right next to him,
about that, dude, what the heck? I mean, come on, man. All right.
Sure is looking stiff in here.
Yeah. If I was standing right next to him, like I would just real subtly lean over and be like, "What's that smell?"
Yeah.
Just
right. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's only after we get to know who you are that we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's because sometimes what'll happen is they'll like throw people and they'll be like, we just need you to believe that these guys are friends.
Yeah.
But like, and it's one of those things that's really funny because you can see it happen in TV shows where like they'll have characters who clearly have no kind of like chemistry together, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll know because then they'll have another character that kind of migrates in, and then they suddenly are picking up stories, right? Because there's usually like an A-B story, maybe sometimes a C story, right?
Yeah.
But then you'll have them interacting with a whole different character because they do have chemistry, right? Mm-hmm. And there's just some like, I'm gonna go back to New Girl because I watched it recently.
It's great.
But like Jess is the main character. She got great chemistry with Nick, right? Clearly, the guy that plays Schmidt's got great character. You know, he can do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. He's got great character with Cece. Oftentimes, I don't buy that Cece and Jess are friends.
Okay.
Because they just don't have.
Yeah.
But then you got the guy that plays Winston, who has great chemistry with everybody. Right?
Oh gosh. Winston.
So you're like, what do we do with this character this episode?
Give him to everybody.
Give him to Winston.
Give him to everybody.
Right.
Everyone's there.
And so he's got Winston and Cece mess arounds. He's got a weird relationship with Nick
because they grew up
right?
together.
Yeah. He does have some interactions with Schmidt.
Well, because they both share the same Winston.
Yeah, but they established that those two like are only friends because of Nick, and so their interactions are a little more hostile usually.
Because they both are Winston. And,
but you can you can see it's like it's you can't just contrive a relationship. Like don't just give us a group and be like you have to believe these guys are friends. Like what you're saying, you see them interacting and you're like, okay, I can buy that.
Yeah.
They have history. They have stuff that has connected them. You know.
Yeah, and they do that throughout the movie. So we're talking about the apes, right? They do that with these characters because you see Rocket through the whole series. You see Cobra and Maurice. Yeah, Maurice.
Sorry about that.
There's another one. Rocket.
The gorilla. What's his name?
Groot.
No, the gorilla.
Grodd.
No, gosh.
Great ape.
I should have wrote it down.
Come on.
But the gorilla that was like from the first one that he let out first.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like
Yeah,
because there's a group of 4, and those guys are tight.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
You
but
get that vibe in the third one.
That gorilla, that's a good example, right? Like, you see the gorilla, he's caged up, right? And he's like, everybody's away from him.
They're afraid of him.
Yeah, and Caesar goes and starts building a relationship with him, like.
Now I got a gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, like, hey, I'm submitting to you. I'm gonna open the door. I'm hooking you up though. Like I don't want no problems. And you see all that, right? Gorilla comes out and going all wild, like, "Hey, you just helped me out.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
We're cool, man.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, apes together strong, you know? And so like right there, boom, now they're friends. So now every time you see the gorilla protecting Ceasar, you know exactly why he's protecting
Rocket
Ceasar.
In Rise, he literally fist fights Rocket to just be like, no, I'm alpha. And Rocket's just like, oh yeah, I can respect a guy like this. So then all the other movies are believable because you're like, no, he literally put Rocket in his place, which no one's done.
Right.
So Rocket's like, dude, I respect this guy. All you guys just like were afraid of me. Like, this guy put me down. He's like, no, I'm behind this guy.
Right.
And
you see that commitment through the whole thing.
right to the third one when Rocket's like, all right, I'll jump on the grenade kind of thing, you know, when he comes in. Like, he knows it's worth doing that.
Right.
Because of everything you see up to that point. He's like, nah, we're in the right, man. I'm going to do this, you know? Like even when Ceasar tries to go off by himself, they're just like, nah, man, we're going with you, dude.
Right.
Like, I get it while you're letting everyone else go.
Yeah.
We're boys, dude. Like,
right.
So they squat up and then just like, let's go kill this guy.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's so relatable.
Gosh, this movie's so great, man. Oh, I'm gonna go home and watch them all.
I know.
Like, hey, go to bed. Nah, I gotta watch these. Gotta do it.
I don't know. I was gonna say like the squad up thing is super relatable. Like I remember there were times like various points where like I remember buddy who was like what would you do if like three dudes just come and like one of them had a problem with me and like they just started jumping. I was like, oh, I'm getting beat up with you.
Yeah.
Like, hands down, like I'm gonna go missile drop kick somebody, right? Like no question about it.
Yeah.
You squat up, man. That's
and that's what I'm saying. Like, and maybe it's just because dude. Like, even if you don't relate with that part, there's still like
there's so many parts to relate with.
There's a simple friendship there too, even with their families. In the new movie with like Noah and the two others, Ayala and I don't remember what Suna.
They're still kind of new to me, so I'm like
But those three, the way that they're like they go head to head when they see each other,
like they clearly grew up
they're
together.
Embracing, like those little moments of wow, they care for each other.
Yeah. They'll have like little like jabs at each other. They're like, "Oh, not as scared as you," and they're like tap each other, run off. And it's like, okay, that's...
but even right there, it's a whole different friendship you're seeing versus the boys who had to like find each other in these hard times. The new trio in the new movie, they clearly grew up. They clearly grew up together.
Right.
So you're seeing like even more of a relationship. So then it gives you another group to be relatable to, right? Because you'll have the friends that like you've made through hard times versus I've known you my whole life, you know?
Yep.
It's so good, man.
There's so many things we can talk about with these.
Yeah. We need to talk about the OG one a little bit, though.
Okay, go ahead.
I think we can...
Oh, I didn't want to like start it. So what I will say since I came out, so the original OG one, we kind of talked about how they kind of get your mind moving on a lot of things and stuff, and that's kind of the popularity of the original ones, like the original 5. I know we're just talking about the first one, but the original 5 that I kind of saw a thing about today, they did so good that every time they would come out with a movie, they would kind of have an ending to it, like a cap to it, and then they're like, wow, we got to make another one, and they're like, okay, and so they just kept going. But I think it was the 4th one was so thought-provoking that they had to change the ending.
Oh.
Like, it was so much of, like, getting people to think. I watched a thing today where I think the 4th one was they were worried it was going to cause them to want to riot.
Oh.
And so they were like, oh, we got to change this ending, you know? We got to, like, we're kind of getting the wrong message here. And, like, if you have a movie like that has that much power, that we're like, guys... this is going to cause a group of people to do something they shouldn't do. And you know that before you even release it.
Yeah.
And it's about monkeys. And so then you're like, okay, well, we clearly have a concept here that didn't get dethroned till Star Wars started coming out.
Like, you know what? Wow. Listen, out there's some guy who's going to come to this movie thinking, after this movie, I'm setting a car on fire.
Yeah.
Like, we need to diffuse that situation.
You know what? I hate humans too. And then they're just going to be like, oh, no. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man.
Yeah, dude. In this last movie, well, we're talking about the new one. I just mentioned the last one.
We clearly really love the new ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My favorite will forever be the original one.
Okay.
I mean,
probably. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can't argue with it. The original ones.
So they bring in Daniel Pemberton.
We wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff if it wasn't for the original movie.
Yes.
So, I haven't even talked about the music for these. That's a whole other discussion.
The opening scenes for each movie
are always good.
Except for probably the original. I don't think that one had a epic opening scene. It was them in the spaceship.
It was Jerry Goldsmith.
Rise had where they're gathering all the apes. Like, it's kind of this wild moment of they're gathering the apes.
Yeah, and they're like netting them and all. Yeah. You're like, oh man, you're already on the ape side.
Right.
And then immediately.
And then War is, what's War?
Dawn's the second one.
Dawn.
That's where they're hunting the elk. And they got like the face paint and everything.
Yeah.
And like right off the bat, you're like, oh, I'm with these boys.
Right.
And they're hunting the elk, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are so cool.
I'm in, man. An elk.
Yeah.
And so then War
is when that military
sabotaging them.
The military group's like slowly coming in, and you think, oh, are they about to get a drop on our apes? Dude, the apes knew something was happening.
Another great opening scene.
I feel like if I saw that elk scene, it would just make me wonder, like, why do I go hunt elk with pants on?
That's a good
question. Don't hunt from ground. They're using the trees and stuff, like, because stuff can see you from the ground.
They can't look up.
These animals don't look up because they don't have up predators. And then here's these monkeys like, we're up, man. Like, we're amongst you.
We're not wearing pants.
Dude, I'm team ape, man. Like, the more I talk about it, I'm like,
we can tell.
Yeah. Okay, you don't need humans.
Music of the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith.
Goldsmith absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
Music was great in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, set the mood for like all this weird stuff that you're gonna get into.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of action at probably the first half.
Yeah, they're like traveling a lot and all the
Yeah, but the music keeps it going.
Yeah.
I really like how much of a jerk Charlton Heston.
Taylor.
Yeah.
He's very much. Yeah, he very much is.
Yeah, because I mean he's like, well, I guess we're not going to be repopulating.
Soda Nova? Yeah.
He's so matter of fact about everything. Even with his astronaut partners, he's just like...
He's like, I left Earth because I hate humans.
Yeah.
We're all terrible.
Yeah, well, get ready, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, that's what makes it so fun, because, like, that's his attitude. And he gets his wish, man. Like, oh, we were terrible.
And here
so terrible,
yeah. But again, like, that's what makes it so interesting, is they set that groundwork of like, oh, he said at the beginning he didn't like humans. Well, but what if you didn't have humans? In this movie,
what if he's forced to confront that?
Yeah, it makes you think about, well, what if you get your wish?
Yeah,
and then you see it.
Well, like, the whole movie feels like a Twilight Zone movie, like which I feel like is a good thing, not a bad thing. It is. It's the whole, you come in with a concept that you're getting to see from this guy's point of view, and then you get to see that concept.
Right.
And then to the point where by the end of the movie, he's mad at humanity. Because it's like, clearly, he's like, this isn't a different planet. I'm on Earth. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, man.
Yeah. Like, you guys finally did
you wish you could take that back, man, and not leave Earth,
Right.
And I did also mention in the Lost episode, one of the things I really loved was that... in that one specifically, like, he's the only human who really talks. Like, the rest of them, they're just animals. Yeah. Right? Yeah. They are running on instinct. They act like animals. They get corralled like animals. Like, they legit are like let's mate this one. Let's bring him a mate. Right.
Yeah. They're just pests.
Yeah. It's legit. Like, the focus. It's this Planet of the Apes. The focus is on he's our eyes, and we get to see this planet where humans don't have the intelligence. They're not even on the food chain anymore. You know, like,
and we talked about it too, where in that movie there's not like a villain like how in the Marky Mark one you've got General Thade, who's like, that's clearly the bad guy.
Oh, Tim Roth.
But in the original there's not a bad guy like that. It's more of a political bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy is us.
But even beyond that, like
Dr. Zaius is the bad guy.
But Dr. Zaius, but he's not. He's the bad guy, but he's also trying to protect the
What
culture
they have
they've
now.
built. Yeah, and like, and so you can, like, I can relate to him. I'm like, man, I would do the same thing, right? Like, yeah, no, we discovered a cave that shows that humans used to be able to talk and they had the ability to build stuff. No, that's the dead zone. If you go out there, you're gonna die, right? Like, kill these two, leave their body.
Immediately do something to his friend's brain, like he can't talk. You know?
Yeah, like the 2 or 3 that went out there with him, like these 3 killed them, leave their bodies here in the cave. Like, we don't need to dredge this up again.
Right.
No, men are not gonna fall from space again.
Right. But it's diving into the idea of politics and corruption. There's like some good to it, like they're trying to, like, we're doing it for a good reason, but really, like, it's not good. So like that whole idea is in there, and it still gets explored now.
Even
like this last one where at the very end, the girl is like
Nova.
Yeah, Nova. The new Nova.
Yeah, the new Nova.
May's her name.
Oh yeah, because like Nova was the one in.
That's what they. They called her. No, because Rocco.
They called her Nova because that's
we name all the girls Nova.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We just do it.
He's like, oh.
But finally, she speaks and she's
May.
like, "My name is May."
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Like, no, how
she's
do
like
I know?
way more intelligent.
Yeah. But she's like at the end. She's like, I don't know if. Like, you don't know if she's really on the ape side still. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, and then it shows the gun behind her back. That whole scene, I was like,
trying not
flip.
to spoil it like that.
I mean, come on. God, you tell me I can spoil, then you tell me I can't spoil.
No, I was saying I was trying to not.
There's a gun.
Yeah, but yeah, like, so you have this idea of like
It's almost claims it,
and now that's playing off of like
She kind of done.
it's playing off of the idea of racism now.
Oh, you
Like,
think?
well, the idea of it, yes, like
Oh,
because she's like, Earth belongs to humans, like it's our thing. It's not your thing. You are like below us.
See, I take a lot of these movies like a war between classes.
Because you're a white man. That's why.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's what's so cool about this, though, because like the metaphor is loose enough that it can be taken in any direction.
Yeah.
It can be any 2 opposing forces that you're like, they are supposed to represent these, because they just represent forces, not necessarily anything.
And the reason
specific.
I feel like it's a problem between classes is in the newest one you see apes. A different group of apes versus a different group of apes.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's more of like, I've only heard negative about this group. And it's like, okay, well, we didn't even know you exist, man. Like, and so like we haven't even cared about you. And so like you're getting to see Noah. Like Noah's learning that. He's always lived in this bubble.
Yeah.
And he called them echoes is what he referred to, these echoes of the old world. And so, I mean, but also you can make it about race. That's fine, dude. I was.
You can't tell me what to think.
I can't. So, but I think TallBeing's right. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm always right.
And that's why I'm saying, like,
not Bird, TallBeing. Just kidding.
It could be whatever.
But regardless, it's about trust. It's like, I think my group's superior than this group.
Yeah.
There's like, the question's always going to be, will they ever work together?
Yeah.
Will they ever get along? And that's, I thought humans were like done for,
right.
And then like, so the whole movie, you're like, I guess they're still there doing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but I like it.
Spoiler alert: they will not.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. And I look forward to, like, if they're gonna get back to the original Planet of the Apes time, like,
more close to that.
Yeah.
Where it's like such a society that they're not even primitive, cut off from humans. It's like they're high society.
Got clothes and everything, and they've got buildings that they live in,
religion and scientists,
like to the point where they don't even know what humans look like anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I look forward to it, because I heard on some podcasts they were talking like, what are they going to do? Just remake Planet of the Apes? Well, yeah, but in this whole new story.
Well, with better CGI.
And I think I think it's going to be interesting. Okay, the CGI, we'll talk about that for a second. because the CGI on all the movies has been great.
Dude, okay, I'm a huge advocate for I'm drawing a blank. Practical effects. There's a lot of movies that I'm like, I feel like they could have done more practical effects. Like, I feel like that didn't have to be CGI.
Yeah.
These 8 movies, I'm like, this is some of the top-notch CGI to where I'm like, hey, these other companies, I'm like, I don't know who they're using, over here. I was like, you guys need to get these guys,
They're using time, is what they're
and
using.
you're literally watching,
that's what it
you're
is.
getting to see the water come off Caesar when they're in the trees and stuff where they're hunting.
Yeah.
They look cold. They look very intense. That you can tell they've been out there for days tracking these elk. Like, you get all of that from visually looking, because they're not talking like, man, haven't we been out here for a couple of weeks? That's crazy.
Right.
Like, there's none of that.
Yeah.
They're doing sign language, but you're getting all of that from like the visuals, and then as there's being like shots or cuts happening throughout the movies, you get to see it in the next movie. You're like, oh, that's when he got hit in the face from that's crazy to me. Like,
Yeah,
Show don't tell.
Yeah.
exactly. Visually, it's done so well. Also,
Oh, wow.
it's not just the storytelling.
Yeah, if you're gonna
but-
show don't tell, then you got to make sure that
Yeah, like
People aren't gonna laugh at it.
like an Avatar movie, right? Like, you see, the story is not as great. I wouldn't say, but the visuals is what's telling the story.
Yeah.
So, and that's what made those movies.
you don't like
so good.
Avatar?
Are we talking on Avatar?
We're talking about Avatar now?
No, I mean,
I'm a certified Avatar hater.
Avatar's
so-
fine. It's not. It's not a bad movie.
I got you.
But
There's no apes in it.
comparatively, if I'm like
TallBeing has a
Avatar-
really big issue with Fire Nation.
Oh, that Avatar! I hated that live action movie.
Okay. Well, do we have anything else? We want to wrap it up?
I think starting.
Who was your favorite apes?
Oh, favorite
We
ape?
kind of talked about it. Like, who was your
Grape
favorite
ape.
apes
Grape Ape.
from the films?
From the Planet of the Ape films.
Donkey
James
Kong.
Franco.
Hey, at least he was in the movie. All right.
So I like Rocket. Rocket was like my top. I really did like Noah and Caesar, obviously, for being mains. But I would have to say Rocket is my top character.
What about that ape?
I'm not reading that. Rocket's my top character, and then I like Bad Ape. We only get to really see him in the one movie, in the third one. I like Bad Ape, man. He comes in, like, you feel bad for him, but also you're like, he doesn't feel bad for himself, so then you're just like, man, just bring this guy along, Like,
But he betrays him.
no, Bad Ape, not Koba.
No, not Koba.
Bad Ape in the third one. He's the one that they just find, and they're like, hey, can you take us to the prison where the colonel, and he takes him there. Like, no, he's like with them. He doesn't betray him.
You talking about Diddy Kong?
Diddy Kong, you're calling him that? No, he's Bad Ape in the, like, go on IMDb, it's Bad Ape.
Yeah, I know, but he looks like Diddy Kong, right?
He's wearing the vest, and has a little hat, he does a little thumbs up. That dude's awesome, man.
Yeah, he was cool. I forgot that he was called Bad Ape. I was thinking of the gorilla.
Because he calls himself Bad Ape, because that's all he's ever heard.
Yeah.
And so again,
he
you're like,
was a great character.
so then you're like, do we feel bad for this guy? Because he doesn't feel bad for himself. He's like, guys, I got food, clothes.
Right.
Like,
he thought he was hooked up.
dude, he was awesome. He's like, don't touch my stuff, but also I'll share my stuff with you. Like, he was so cool.
Yeah.
No, I like Bad Ape, but Rocket, dude, the best parts in the third movie, it's the poop scene.
Oh yeah.
Where they're throwing the poop, and the guy comes in and he's like, "Who did it? Who did it?" And then like all they get out of the way, and he just stands up like, "It was me." Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do to
Yeah.
me? Yeah, I know you wrote it down, so I put it in. Poop, yeah. But like the poop scene, you like how I fit it in? Yeah, okay. But no, Rocket's.
That's
the
why I
best.
wrote it. I knew that was your
Yeah,
favorite.
Rocket is a really good character.
Yeah.
Man, Koba kills it too.
Maurice.
Is a good one. Man.
I like my
I like
Wise-
The gentle giant, the like.
like the wise, not mentor, but kind of older best friend kind of character. Like the butler in Zorro.
Oh yeah.
He's not even a butler. What's his name? I cannot
The
remember.
mute one?
Yeah,
Alfred.
the mute one. Alfred.
Spanish.
Spanish Alfred.
Just
Alfredo.
every butler's out.
I don't remember his name.
Let's
was
just go with
good.
that, I guess. I don't know.
Alfredo.
That kind of character. I love that kind.
Yeah. The wise older one.
Yeah.
Also very loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Maurice was good. I like Maurice better than Rocco. Rocco was really good too, though.
Rocco just didn't.
That was
stick
the
around
new
for long.
one, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he wasn't meant to stick around. I feel like his whole thing was to get Noah to question, like what other things is out there, and then he's like, and I'm gone. Kind of like Kenobi and like New Hope. He's like, hey man, like
all their
trying to get you invested.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say a couple bad things about this last movie. Because you mentioned Rock. I feel like Rocco should have stayed. He should have been involved because he had much more wisdom to share.
Yeah.
I love the interactions that he had with Noah, and he's like completely blowing Noah's mind with things like, we used to be in a zoo, right? He's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then he finds the book. He's like, he was right. Rocco was right. So like, there's a lot of things that Rocco knew that he could have passed on to Noah, and I feel like that would have been very beneficial. So I'm interested to see how that's going to progress.
Well, see, I just feel like it would have progressed too quick. Like now, we're having potential for Noah figuring out stuff like, are there more followers like Rocca and stuff like?
Yeah, that definitely sounds like they're trying to key up the next.
Yeah, but I feel like there's still a lot of Ceasar's story that could have been told without affecting what happened or what could happen, because he would just have like, okay, so I know that because he knows there's a Ceasar. There wouldn't have been nothing wrong if like he got the complete story of Ceasar. It wouldn't have changed his point of view, I don't think, of anything that happened.
I don't know. I feel like how the movie ended with him questioning everything now, and he wants to go back to normalcy. He just wants to get his clan back. Mm-hmm. Like he's even meeting new apes, and he's like, I can't even think about that. Like like there's people running around, they're talking. We went into this bunker. Like he's like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Like, but what happens once he gets home? Now he's like, I know where Rocca's place is. Like I'm gonna go back to that. He's gonna start looking things out. Yeah. He's gonna question where May is.
It's the hero's journey. He's gonna go back, but the status quo has changed forever.
Like I see what you're saying, but also it's like, it can't be that easy, man. It can't be that easy. Like imagine you at 5 found someone that's like, guy, hey, Bird, I got all the answers for you, man. I know you're 5 years old. I got all the answers for you. But then it's like, no, man. Like you had to figure out this stuff.
I don't know, man. Some people would say you're blessed if you had that.
I guess, but
but there's a reality. Like also, like you can't just info dump, right? Because that's what it would end up being.
It could have, yes. Yeah. But the way that the conversations were going, I feel like there was other questions that could have been asked that at least I was like, just ask this question and then he could give you the answer. You know?
I want to know what they saw through the telescope.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
They never show it, and it bugged me.
He was thinking that there was a spaceship.
Oh, the Icarus?
I think.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Yeah, I think it's whatever the ship is that it's in the original one. They're just doing that.
So you see it shortly in like the Rise, the little like newspaper article of the Icarus disappearing.
Right.
I feel like, kind of like what you're saying, they're definitely going back to that core world feel.
Yeah.
I think at some point there's going to be astronauts crashing down. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, well, here we go.
Right.
And then it's going to be all these groups racing for the astronauts.
Please let them cast Mark Wahlberg.
As a monkey.
Dude, bring him. No! Bring him back!
Yeah, he can be Dr. Zayas.
That is the other thing, is this series did create one of the greatest Simpsons bits.
Yes.
And we can't deny its legacy because
Dr.
of that.
Dr. Zayas.
Yep. What?
The song,
Dr.
the musical,
Zayas.
Planet of the Apes musical.
No,
They sing. You gotta
You
look
can
it up.
talk. You can talk?
No, what are you
I can sing!
Is it? What?
It's like old school Simpsons.
Classic
Simpsons.
Classic
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched all the Simpsons.
Dude, you gotta watch this.
You should check that clip.
Okay.
It was
Dr. Zayas. That said, I feel like that's a good way to close it out. Bring it.
legacy.
It all
Simpsons.
goes back to Simpsons, man.
It all
best
roads lead
Planet
to
of
the
the
They
Apes.
predict it all.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go then.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
We love the apes so much.
Dude, Apes Together Strong.
I think we definitely did it. We paid homage to the Apes franchise. Go watch the movies if you haven't seen them. Let us know your favorite parts, your favorite characters. We didn't even say our favorite characters. We were just like, yeah.
I said my favorite apes.
You did.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
You didn't say that one.
I'm not reading everything you write down. I'm not reading it.
All right, yeah. Follow us on our socials, the Room Upstairs Podcast, YouTube. Like it, subscribe. If you're listening, we're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Hayden, for joining us again.
Always love coming, man.
What else? Next battle?
Next battle will be Howard Shore and Bernard Herrmann.
Another good one. So do your homework. Join us next time. See ya. We're Apes Together Strong.
Poor Daniel Pemberton.
Yeah. This positivity for the Apes franchise, that is Ape fandom for you.
Yeah.
You know, he had that one good joke.
What, Caesar salad?